everybody, welcome back to Peaks Peak. My name's Lucas, and today we are going to be installing a Motorguide Xi5 trolling motor with a pinpoint anchoring system on our Triton TR176 bass boat. Now there's a few things you're going to need to do to prepare for this install. The first being, you've got to take this console out of the front so that you'll have access to up inside the front of the hull so you can put your bolts through, you can drill your holes and do all the things you need to do in there. Actually, the first thing you're going to need to do is grab a monster, because no project is complete without a monster. So once you've had a few sips and you get your console opened up, it's time to get your trolling motor ready for installation. The first thing you're going to do is take these side covers off of the trolling motor, and there are just two holes here that you take these screws out of, and these covers come off very easily. And after you have those covers off, it opens up these slots right here so that you can choose which mounting holes you want to do. And so you're going to want to plan out where you want your trolling motor to sit in relation to your bow, and you want to make sure you have enough clearance for that. Now I'm actually installing a 54-inch version on our bass boat, not necessarily because I felt like I needed that 54-inch version, but I got a great discount on this particular trolling motor. So I thought, well, I can deal with a few extra inches of length in order to save several $100s. That being said, the things you're going to want to look out for when you decide where you're going to mount your trolling motor is clearance on the front, because when this folds out, the shaft has to have room to come down beside the front of the boat and not be against your rub rail. If you're against your rub rail, then you're going to hear the vibration and the noise in the boat, and it's going to transfer that into the water. The fish will know you're coming. The other thing is you don't want your trolling motor sticking way out off of the side of the boat. So the angle that you put it at is going to kind of help you determine whether you have overhang, especially if you got the longer model like I did. So once I decided where I was going to mount it, I got me a silver Sharpie so that I could see it on this rubber, and I marked the slots where I'm going to drill my holes. But I'm going to show you this deployed so that I can show you how to check your clearances. Now, with this trolling motor deployed, we want a ½ an inch of clearance between the rub rail and the shaft of the motor. That's the minimum clearance that you have right here. So you want to be able to basically stick your finger in here and have space between it and the rub rail. When you mark this out, make sure you have enough clearance there. Now, once I get this trolling motor marked where I want to drill my holes, then I need another drink of Monster. And then we'll move this out of the way so that we can drill our holes and get ready to mount it. For installation of your trolling motor, you're going to take these little rubber washers and put them on top. And of course, that is to dampen the vibration of the motor into the boat. And they're going to go between the plate of the trolling motor and the deck of the boat. So I set those in place over the holes, and now I'm going to get my bolts in place here. Now that we got them into position, I've got a 7/16 wrench and a 7/16 deep well socket on a ratchet. And you will put one fender washer and a nut on each one of these by reaching up inside the bow here. All right, so we've got our bolts all in place. All right, looking good, looking good. Okay, so now that we have it mounted and all of this works properly and it deploys the way that it should, what we have are a couple of connections to make. The first one is for our in the cone transducer here, and it will bolt, or it will connect directly to our Lowrance right here on the bow, right on the sonar connection right here. Okay, now the final thing that I have to do is, it comes with connections like this, but I have an outlet like this on my bow. So I'm going to cut these wires off, strip them back, and attach them to this plug so that I can put it in, and I'll have a nice clean disconnect right here. Okay, I got my plug wired up, piece of cake. Time to plug it in. See if it blows up like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Ooh, we have a light. So we've got power. I have not put batteries in the controller or the pedal yet, so I probably should do that. And I haven't put the prop on yet, so better take care of those things. Okay, so now we've come to the part that is one of the most important parts of the install, but also one of the things that made me the most nervous because I didn't quite understand how it was going to work. But we're going to pair our controls with the trolling motor. So to do that, you want to go ahead and deploy your trolling motor and get it locked into the down position there. And this is one of the reasons why I like the power disconnect here, because one, you're supposed to unplug your trolling motor while you're charging your batteries. So it would be a good idea to be in the habit of unplugging your trolling motor at the end of your fishing day while your batteries are charging. But when you plug it in, the lights will come on and it will beep. You hold down both arrows on the controls, you'll hear a beep that confirms that they're paired together. And then you're paired and ready to go. And it's a really simple process. You can hit the propeller button to turn on the speed. So the keys to pairing your remote are: the trolling motor must be deployed when you power it up. If it's not deployed, it won't go into pairing mode and you can't pair your remote to it. Ask me how I know. Now that we have our remote paired, I'm going to power off the motor by unplugging it. You install 2 AA batteries in the bottom of your foot pedal and you'll be ready to pair your foot pedal. You want to place it on a surface because when we power this up, within 10 seconds, you press the anchor and the propeller buttons on the bottom edges of this remote right here. So, we've got our trolling motor deployed. We plug it into power. It beeps. We hold these down and you hear the confirmation that it's paired. And now, you're ready to use your controls. So guys, I'm really excited to get this thing out on the water and try it out. I have a little bit of apprehension. Being an old school guy that's used to cable steering controls and everything just being hardwired and analog, I'm kind of anxious to see how well this is going to work out on the water. For one, this pedal being down in this cavity without it being attached, I don't know how I'm going to manage that in terms of driving down the lake. Do I want to put the pedal away before we move? How do you guys handle the storage on that? So we've got some things we're going to learn out on the water, and we're going to share our experiences. We're going to share how these controls work. We're going to share how cumbersome it is to use these controls like this. And I don't know, I may even learn that with the technology of the waypoints and the ways that you can set this motor to kind of move you along on its own, we may not even need the foot pedal. I just don't know what to expect. So we're gonna get out there and figure those things out, and we'll share it with you when we get out on the water. So until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation because it's beautiful out here. Y'all have a good day.